Oh hey there, how's it going? I didn't expect anyone to be watching this, but I'm actually training for a match against a US prodigy in the World Shogi League, and this is the video today. Hey guys, it's Michael from Chess Lifestyle, and today I have a very important match. I'm making this video just to kind of calm the nerves, I guess, but basically I started playing maybe like 2.5 months ago, like seriously, and I got chosen to be on the England team, or Team GB I should say, and we have like one fixture a month, and this is the second fixture of the World Shogi League, and we're playing the USA, and my opponent is, I think, a 14-year-old girl from the US, and she is insanely strong. Insanely strong, and I'm playing her in 22 minutes, so I thought we would have a warm-up and I would record the whole match. And the way puzzle collections work in Shogi are that you have like problem sets and you have to speedrun them. And within this problem set, you have different types of problems, but these ones are sumes, and what sumes are, they're forced mates. And this is a forced mate in 3 moves, but in chess terms that would be a forced mate in 2. Because each move, regardless of who moves, is counted as a move in Shogi. Also regarding the match, I have prepared an opening, which is a hybrid between... Wait, let me just make sure this is... Okay, this is being recorded, this is not being streamed. Before I reveal all the secrets. But yeah, I'm going to be playing a system that I never ever play before. So there's no way in hell that Lily is prepared against me. I've been very careful not to reveal it as well. But basically, it is a hybrid between a third file rook and a static rook. And for chess viewers who are watching, what that basically means is that imagine a chess player who always, in every game, religiously castles kingside. And they have a very important match coming up, and they decide to castle queenside for that match, despite never castling queenside in any of their games. So we're playing a different strategy to normal, but I've done a lot of preparation for it, and Lily doesn't... Lily's my opponent, by the way. She doesn't seem to deal with it too well, so I'm hoping I'm going to get that practical edge, if not at least a psychological edge, that I'm playing something that she's completely unprepared for. Because no doubt she would have like looked into every single game of mine meticulously and made sure she's crushing me in every single position, because that's the kind of person she is. So I'm hoping that at least I'll get away with not experiencing that. I'm also looking here at dragon here, because if dragon here and the king moves, then I can go bishop back. But yeah, I mean, regarding my chess, actually, I haven't really been doing too much chess. I have just been meeting up with some friends to just play casually. But I did play in one tournament, which wasn't rated. It was rapid play. And I ended up winning 7 out of 7. So clearly, at least, well, basically, that was the day after I competed in my first ever Shogi tournament. And I ended up beating a former European champion, which was absolutely insane. I was not expecting to win that, but I played a pretty great game actually. So yeah, basically I was on an absolute high from that, and you know, as Chess Mood have put it, right mood equals right move. So yeah, I had a great chess tournament as well. I managed to beat some pretty strong players as well. There was a 2200, which I'm not going to name names, but I don't like him. Let's just put it that way. And I managed to beat him, so that was very cool. So some nice wins. Yeah, just kind of like boosting the chess morale a bit. And I will be playing in some chess tournaments in the summer, but also some Shogi tournaments. So I'm gonna continue living this split personality of Shogi and chess. But I think it's good, because whenever you burn out in one, you can just go to the other. I think it's pretty fun. For this match, 9 minutes to go. 9 minutes to go. This girl who watches, who I'm playing, she also watches my streams, and she stays up till like 2 AM. Well, stays up till 2 AM to start watching my streams, because I stream in the mornings. And it's so funny because I like I remember asking her once, like, don't you have school? Like, how are you able to watch my streams on a weekday? And basically her school's online. So she didn't have to really turn up. So yeah, I was personally involved in helping someone not go to school. So, but okay, Shogi has severely benefited from it, so that's good as well. Well, not benefited from my streams, but benefited in the sense that she has focused a lot on Shogi and she's gotten very good. So it's not, you know, it could be worse. It could be worse. The key is to be relaxed. And the pressure is more on Lily than it is for me because the way World Shogi League works is that there are 3 players per team. Well, you can have a squad of up to 8, I think, but 3 players per team, and basically the players schedule their own matches, but they have to be done within certain time frames. And our board 2 already won their match in a completely underdog upset. And for the record, if I win my match today, it would also be a very big underdog upset. I'm not supposed to win this game. So the pressure's on Lily to bring it back to 1-1, in which Natasha, who is our board 3, will need to be the deciding match against a very strong opponent as well. So the chances aren't in our favour, but on paper they're not. But I don't know. The mood is high. The mood is very high. So I think we've got serious chances. But it will depend a lot on how Lily is playing as well. If she's playing at her best, it's going to be tough. And I'm just seeing now, can I go gold here? Go dragon as well. Okay, 1 more to go, and then we got 10. If he runs this way, he's got this square. If I go gold here, silver takes horse here. Is a mate. If gold here, king runs. So maybe if I go gold here, silver takes then mate. If gold here, king takes. Hold on, no. Gold here, if king runs, then I can take this. So it must be gold here. Yes, and it was this one, wasn't it? No, it was this one. It was this one. I'm pretty sure. Alright, perfect. That's our 10. It's 7:58. Let's go. Oh my god. Let us actually go. Recording. Yo, this is gonna be insane. This is gonna be insane, guys. Let's go. Challenge accepted. Good luck. And this is the prep. This is the prep. We are playing the bishop's pawn. And we're seeing pawn here. What an interesting first move of this game. Why did she push this side pawn? I'm so baffled. Okay. Okay, somehow she thought I would do this. So now, I don't know. I've never played this move before. So I'm gonna, I think I stick with static rook. I've got to see what hand she plays. Now, if I play static rook, can she bishop exchange? Am I in trouble? Surely I'm not in trouble already from that. What is this move? What is this move? Alright, I can't be psyched out. I think it must make sense to just play static here. It must make sense. Alright, let's think. Let's think. We can also push this up, which was our main plan in the first place. And I think it should still be fine. I think it should still be fine. We're gonna stick to our guns. And this is shocking stuff because I never play third file rook. So this is definitely going to be an absolute shock. And if anything, this is going to be a slow move. So maybe she was trying to catch me out with some kind of weird setup. I don't know, but she's gonna have to revert to some third file rook kind of play. But she has no idea, but I'm not actually going to bring my rook to the third file. I prepared this like hybrid of third file rook, like feint, and then go into a static rook. And it's going to be very exciting to see what happens. This whole like video game radio as well. It's like been supporting me since the start of the stream. Start of the time I started streaming, so. But the whole Shogi world are gonna be losing their shit right now because I've always played static rook. And I've never showed any signs of playing this third file rook, so this is completely wild. Completely and utterly wild. Now, how do we stay as flexible as we can? She's gonna play the king over already. But we haven't committed our rook over yet. So now we can play with gold. Potentially bring the silver bishop here if needed, and then I can switch to static. So I think now is the right time for gold. I can always take with the silver. I can bring the knight out. I think gold here is the right play. Alright, let's just shut the window. I'm getting too nervous. Getting this chilly breeze. Ugh. Let's put on a hoodie. Oh. So there's some insane mind games taking place. Insane mind games. Because now she must be realizing, holy crap, Michael's not doing third file rook. And he's sticking the gold here instead. And she's still... Maybe she's now catching on the setup that I'm actually going to create. Also, the difference between 2 dan and 1 dan is huge. You might think like 1500, 1700 rating were complete beginners, but it's just a completely different rating picture. I would say what it's similar to is like online wise. Maybe I'm 2000 online, and a 2 dan is probably like 2300 online. I wanna say it's like that. But this is also like everyone just plays rapid on 81 Dojo. No one plays blitz. So I feel like that shows the truer strength of the level. So yeah, Lily's a lot stronger than me on paper and in practice. But you know, if I use every little thing I've got. Now, what it looks like to me is that maybe she's setting up an Anaguma in which I need to be rapid with this pawn attack. Pawn up. If she takes, I take. She can't be fast enough, right? I can push this pawn. I don't know how she's going to build Anaguma, but I think it's going to be slow. So I think we start rapidly pushing this pawn. I think that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And I think if she's trying to create Anaguma, it's going to be way too slow. So if she takes and I take, there's also chances of me pushing this pawn takes, and then like bishop fork. There's always chances of me dropping a bishop on 5-5, so she has to be careful. Really careful. Okay, we're ahead on the clock as well, which is always handy. But it did take us 3 minutes to play 8 moves. So probably we're a bit on the slow side, but we're just being careful. We are in unknown territory, so that also makes sense. But this opening could not have gone better. Now she's bringing this Urashino silver up. Now if I take this bishop, king takes, then the Anaguma is more likely to happen. Now if I push the pawn, she can bring the silver here and she strongholds this. Now what I can do, I can play bishop takes, king takes, and push this pawn. And if she takes, I can drop a bishop with check. She can block, and then I take the rook, silver takes. I don't have anywhere I can drop. But this feels slightly wrong. Now if I push the pawn, and she brings silver up, and I push the pawn and she takes. If I push this pawn, it is very hard to break through. Or will she take here, and then bring the silver up? I need to decide whether I take the bishop first or do I push the pawn. So believe it or not, I think Lily is going for an Anaguma, which is hilarious. Because I thought there was no way she was going to have time for an Anaguma in this setup. But she's proving me wrong. But it feels dodgy. It feels really dodgy. This move made no sense though. Like, what is this move? It's just like a waiting move to see what I'm doing, maybe. I don't know. It's strange. If I take the bishop, king takes. Is there anything I can do there? Take, bishop drop. Silver blocks, pawn on. If takes, then I can take. And do I really want that rook in hand? Alternatively, I just push the pawn or bring the king up. And I keep playing this position. The bishop's a bit awkward. It will have to come this way. Silver will come up and then this pawn will push and then this pawn might be vulnerable. If I take, king takes, and I push the pawn and silver moves up, how fast can Lily really be at building this Anaguma? What if I were to drop a bishop here as well, because then that supports my push and threatens to push this maybe. But I still don't know if actually taking this rook is that significant. Because the silver just takes back and I get a rook in hand, but we're still in the opening phase, so... How serious is the threat of silver here, bishop here, pawn up to hit my pawn? If I take, king takes, bishop drop, check, and the silver comes here, and I push this pawn, I am threatening to push because pawn takes, rook takes. Utilizing this pin. Also, this pawn might be lost anyway, so maybe I should just like sack it and then have this. If I play here, she's gonna bring the silver here. I think I need to take. I probably need to make a decision. Or do we just keep the bishop here? Maybe I just keep the bishop on this long diagonal, especially if Lily's bringing her bishop this way. So maybe we should just push. I'm really deeping this. I'm really deeping this hard. I think we should allow her to take us, to be honest. I think we push this pawn. I think we're gonna push. We're gonna push. After that long 6-minute think, we have decided to push. And the question is, will Lily exchange bishops or not? Or will she just bring the silver up? If she brings the silver up, my thinking is she's probably going to bring the bishop down, in which my bishop's going to stay strong. If she takes, then I take back with the silver, and I think that's improved my shape slightly. So that is the logic. That is why we did not take this bishop. So now Lily has to make a conscious choice whether she goes for this anaguma or not. And now we can stay in the center with our king. So she takes, we take back with the silver. I mean, maybe I should have considered pushing the pawn, but I think that would have been too much. But maybe I should have slowed down and not automatically done that. We could drop a bishop here, or we can, like, sack this pawn first. We can also play king 5-2. Alternatively, king 6-9 and silver up is also a way to go. Now, actually, I bothered to look at this, and I'm pretty sure I play king here, silver here, pawn up, and drop a bishop here and go for this attack anyway. I have looked at something along these lines. So I think silver first or king first. I don't know if it matters. Probably silver, given that there are potential bishop drops. I think I've literally looked at this line. Because I was very concerned what happens if she tries to stop my attack. And I didn't look at this with the others. I looked at this after the call ended. Because I was really curious to see what I needed to do here. And I think silver king here, pawn up and then drop a bishop. And go for this attack. So silver here, if king here, lance up, pawn here, king here, bishop here. Silver back, and then maybe I can still try and kind of crash through, so. But that's the setup we want. I think silver 4-8 and king here. So let's play for it. Now we're protecting all of the pawns on the front, which means that bishop drops are less strong. Maybe I could have dropped a bishop myself, but I didn't see anywhere that was immediately winning, and this idea of pushing this pawn, king here, and dropping a bishop to attack, and basically sacking the bishop for a silver, but to basically open this up. That was my thinking. Lily is a bit faster in building an anaguma though, given that she hasn't pushed this static pawn at all, but I think it would be risky to try and play this pawn on bishop here and attack before my king is safe. The question is, should I play pawn up and bishop here before moving the king? Just because then I'm a tempo faster, and how important does it matter if my king is either here or here? Probably not too much because, you know, this pawn hasn't been pushed, so my king is not exposed. So I think my king is a little bit weaker here, but not by a lot. She could go after the pawn immediately with some bishop drop, but I think that's very greedy. I don't think it would be worth doing. Like bishop drop, I can always meet it with a bishop drop myself, defending if absolutely necessary. But for sure, the Shogi are losing their shit right now. They're like, oh my god, Michael is like playing this third file pawn. But it's all part of a plan. Yeah, because I literally thought like all of my ideas revolved around pushing this pawn and breaking through. But I was really like wondering like, oh, what if the silver gets here fast enough, stops my break? How am I supposed to play? And I was looking at it with an engine and I saw this Urashino type idea where you push the pawn and drop a bishop here to defend this pawn and attack. So I'm so glad I looked at that because I don't think I would have found that over the board. Because it feels unnatural to drop a bishop in your own camp. You'll kind of want to drop a bishop where it's going to do more damage. So I'm still somewhat at home here. We're almost neck and neck on time. I'm normally playing 10 minutes 30. This is 30 minutes 60. And 60, what it means is not increment, it is Boyomi. So when you get down to 0, you have 60 seconds each move to finish your game. I think it's a better time control than chess time controls offer. I'm a really big fan of it. Because there's time pressure, but not time scrambles. And time scrambles are just stupid. So I think... I mean, I guess 30-second increment can work, but then you get too much added time at the start of the game. But yeah, anyway, let's focus. So, I'm thinking of pushing the pawn, dropping a bishop. I don't think I'm going to move the king here. How many moves will it take for it to do Anaguma? 1, 2, 3. But then... the silver was already stopping this plan, so how does she plan on building an Anaguma? It's not so clear. She brings the gold up. Now, that does allow for a rook drop on the back later in the game, perhaps. I don't want to push this, because then it exposes my rook too much. I want to push the central pawn and drop a bishop here. Is there any drawback to doing that? If here, and she drops a bishop here, I can hit the bishop's head. Absolutely no worries. I'm going to push the pawn here, drop a bishop here, and threaten to push. I think that's the play. There's no need to bring a king here. Although my king is slightly safer. Am I going to hurt for keeping my king here later or not? I remember Engine was saying like king 6-9 or something, so maybe I should just play it. Maybe I should just play this. Keep this in hand, because I haven't revealed that this is my idea yet. If I play king here, king here, pawn on, mount here, bishop here, king in the corner. Then I push, take, 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 take. I think that should be good for me, especially since the rook is now blocked. Or if I play pawn here now, king here, bishop drop, lance up. Can I push this pawn? Maybe I want the king to be further back anyway, if I'm doing this breakthrough. So maybe king 6-9, maybe having the tempo is a good idea. I think just given that there is a bishop just around, being close to the silver, I think I should just fix my shape first. Fix my castle shape. Let's play this. Let's play this. Just improve my shape a bit, and then we're going to play our pawn up, drop a bishop. This is all prep, guys. This is all prep. Obviously not against Lily's exact position, but... Wow. Okay. So pawn is opened up here. Why? I mean, maybe to drop a bishop here so that if I try and attack, then a pawn can be dropped here or something. But this pawn move kind of confuses me. I guess to attack the head of my king. So if I push this pawn, she swings a rook to 4th file. I drop a bishop, she pushes the pawn. I don't think I need to worry about this attack. I can always bring a silver forward if needed. I think I cover the square of the bishop as well. I think I push this pawn. And I think that's completely fine. I think let's do it. I think let's do it. Is there any reason, is there any way we can exploit this? I don't think so. Pawn and bishop draw. I think that's good. I think that's good. I think that's good. Alright, let's try it. I think that's good. Okay, so the silver's coming up, not the rook. I thought that Lily was going to play some kind of like 4th file and push this pawn. Instead, she's bringing the silver up like this. But that's fine by me because now I can drop a bishop here. Am I threatening to push? Takes, 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 takes. If she drops a pawn, I can take check. I can grab some of these side pawns for the expense of a bishop, and I've got good shape. I think bishop here should still be good. I think bishop here is what wants to be played. Especially if my silver eventually tries to climb. So I think bishop here is the right play. I think bishop here is the right play. And now we're going to play pawn up. Either pawn up, silver up, and we climb, or we go for the straight away and sack the bishop. I think both seem reasonable. I mean, given that the king is still here, probably I can't make this push work. Probably I can't make this work, so I probably need the help of a silver. But this square is definitely weak. It's only defended by king. So if I can bring this pawn up, silver here, push this pawn, takes, drop a pawn, and then push and then attack, like, I think that's going to be really good. The question is, if I push this pawn, well, the good news is that this pawn is pushed, so she can't drop on my rook's line. And we suddenly switch to a more Urushinoi type setup where Lily's pieces are not in a configuration to face that. And I don't see an issue with pushing this pawn, bring this silver here, pushing this third file pawn. Also, it's funny that I'm Gote again. It's like every serious match I'm always Gote. It's actually a joke. So I should only prepare Gote seriously, because I'm always going to be Gote. Anyway, let's not be salty. It's basically like in chess, imagine that the colors are randomized when you play these matches in a chess match. And you always get black every time. So yeah, in Shogi, black and white are reversed. Okay, my internet is not going to fail me, that's good. But this could not have gone more... this could not have gone better, I think. Because... I feel like Lily has had to play a quite passive setup. Which isn't her style. Normally she's the one pressing. And I think, unless I'm missing some idea, I'm the one who's going to be getting more activity as a result. I realize that things could easily turn itself around. My king isn't the safest. Actually, maybe let me take a snipping tool. Let me take a snipping tool of this. Could be nice. Okay, so bishop has moved 4-2. I mean dropped on 4-2, not moved. Which again is a defensive post aimed at this pawn push. Right, but at the end of the day, this bishop is very passive. So if anything, we've gained something from dropping bishop here, but we do need a plan now. So what could our plan be? I mean, if we push this pawn and magically the silver came here, and we push the pawn. Pawn takes, silver takes, silver takes, bishop takes. And maybe we are breaking through. So probably we do want to push the pawn now, especially given that Lily can't drop a bishop on this line. Potentially this pawn can push, and the bishop can come here and attack down here. So I do need to be a bit careful. I can push the edge as well, but then that might restrict my silver, so maybe I want to keep that open. Probably push this pawn and climb this silver is the way to go. Probably push this pawn. There's no other moves that need to be made, so I think pushing this pawn makes sense. Let's push it. The only thing is that maybe this bishop comes to this diagonal, which could be annoying, so maybe I should push this pawn on the side. But also, maybe it could have been nice as well to kind of ask Lily what she's doing, but it's not like Lily's just going to sit around. I think she's going to come up with a plan. So I think playing actively is the right way to go. Pushing this pawn, trying to bring the silver up, probably is the way to try and make some progress here. But I see that Lily's taking this kind of more passive approach. And I think the reason must be because she's expecting me to play rapid attack, so she wants to play more defensively, encourage me to attack, and then strike when my king isn't well protected enough. But I think my king is fine. I don't really... Thing is, that's the problem. I don't really understand castles well enough to know how I can build this castle stronger. To me, this looks strong enough. which is probably a bit dodgy. So after pawn push, I should bring the silver forward. If the pawn pushes again, it's okay. I can bring the silver here. So I think it's time to start climbing with silver. If silver comes here, I guess the gold is coming here. But still, I've got play on this side. So I think we just bring the silver up. The point is this square is defended by a king and nothing else. Because we've switched, we've done a fake. I think this is more so against a third file rook, but we haven't played third file. Which means if one day I learn third file rook, this is going to be a menacing idea. Because whichever way they set up, if they start bringing the king early, I stay static rook. If they don't bring the king early, then I stay third file rook, and it's probably devastating. So I think this is like, this will be a great practical tool to have both third file rook as well as third file fake. Now, no pawns in hand, so I could potentially come silver this way. But to me, probably silver here makes more sense. Although when I push the pawn... To be fair, if the gold comes up, I can push the pawn, and then when I take, neither the gold nor the silver can take, otherwise it gets trapped by a pawn drop. It can come forward, but it feels a bit risky. I think I do want to be pushing this edge pawn, actually. Because if my silver comes here, I will want it to be protected from this bishop. So probably pushing this pawn is a good idea. We are now neck and neck on time, which is good. We're both burners of a clock. We both think a lot. We're very similar players in many ways, I think. Wow, so the attempt to build some kind of anaguma is strong. Now I can push this pawn and maybe gain some influence on this side. The bishop is controlling this line as well, so I can push this. Can I push this yet or not yet? Probably not. Probably this edge. This edge needs to go. This edge needs to go up. Let's push this edge. Bum, 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 bum. So the gold is coming to assist. Now the gold and king are being used to defend this point. Now the question is, should I push one more to gain some kind of superiority on this edge? I could also put the pawn here, at lance here and rook behind, but I feel like that always never works. Because there's like a knight defending. I think I haven't really learned edge attacks well enough to make this work. So I think I probably want to bring the silver forward. I'm gonna get some breeze. I'll get some chocolate as well. It is after 8, so I can eat after 8. It will actually be difficult to break through here with this king. But is the king going to be a weaker defending piece, you know? Like, let's imagine silver here, pawn on. Pawn takes, silver takes, pawn drop. Pawn on. And if takes. Is there any way I can exploit this? I can't really. Maybe this is actually a legit defense. Now, I just thought of the most crack idea, which is to bring silver, 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 and then push the pawn. But surely I'm not going to be able to make that journey cross-country. Like, literally any of these pawns can push at any moment and then stop me in my tracks. But I mean, I can bring silver, 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 silver up. Do this long journey to give some backup. But I don't know if it's too slow. I also don't know if this silver is needed in the defense. Because eventually the static pawn will push. And this pawn is also weak. So probably the silver would need to come here eventually. But first we can climb the silver, I think. Just to give a little bit of pressure, you know? Or we can bring the silver in the center. Probably silver here, right? Does it matter about, let's say, pawn up, and this bishop coming to this diagonal? Do I need to be wary of that? Because if so, maybe the silver here is better, but if Lily ever gets a pawn in hand, you can push, take, and then drop. Maybe we can stay flexible with a silver move and see how she plays. But at the same time, I don't know how necessary that is. I guess it's a useful shape. It's slightly better. Has to be slightly better. I can also push this edge, so she doesn't gain some dominance there. Maybe giving myself a potential escape that side is useful. The thing is though, can she build Anaguma in time? As soon as she plays Lance here, and king back, do I have a move that can strike? And the problem is I don't. Maybe I need my silver to be here, ready and waiting as soon as she plays the lance here. And when she plays the king here, then I push. So maybe I wait for the time being, and when she starts building, I'll start attacking. That seems fair enough to me. So maybe we just push here for now. So I'm kind of just slowing down a bit, seeing what she does. She's going to push this pawn. Basically, potentially open up this diagonal. I think I bring the silver up. Silver up makes a lot of sense. Is there any way to exploit this? I can also bring the bishop here, if needed. I could come silver here to take this pawn. And she's going to bring her silver up as well. If silver here, bishop here, pawn up. I could sack, and when bishop takes drop of silver, but I think it's too much. Now, if she brings the silver up, she is threatening to push this pawn and then put pressure on it. We could bring the bishop here first, but then pawn up. Maybe that's uncomfortable. So maybe we should try and do some kind of attack while we can. Also, I just realized we could have gone knight to knight, but then the knight's probably too weak. Anyway, no time to think about that. Although, silver here, silver up, knight up. Can we threaten to take this? Maybe silver up and knight up is an interesting shape. I mean, we weaken this square. Seriously. That's my concern. If silver here, knight up. And the pawn moves up. It feels hella risky. The knight doesn't really have anywhere to go. That's the issue. Do I try and attack? Or do I try and play silver here first? I could also push this pawn. And if she goes silver here, I go gold here. And like silver up. Or like, for instance, what about silver up and then gold up and then pawn up? I don't know. I feel like this pawn is going to be too weak, so I feel like we should use it as a vanguard and try and bring some material up. But maybe just rook here, and this is going to open up. And it's going to be too much. I don't know. What's the correct way? This is the make or break if I create a strong enough castle. Like, I'm thinking, if the silver's up, the gold's up, and my king's up, and it's all in one row, and the pawn's up as well, we control all the dropping squares. Like, why shouldn't that be good, you know? I think we can afford to do this. Pawn here. I think let's bring the silver up. I'm gonna bring the silver up. Now if silver here, do I try and attack this again with a knight or not? Because then actually knight here, pawn up and gold here. That seems like fairly decent shape. And then if my king comes here, then I control all the bases. So I feel like knight here just for like greater added control. The only issue is that maybe this pawn can push at some point. Maybe knight here is good. Make Lily think that I might take it. Maybe I will take it, who knows. That also controls this square a bit better. I think pawn here, gold here, knight here is the way to go. I think knight is good. There's no drops on the back, so we should be fine. We should be fine. We should be fine. And I like the fact that we're playing some mind games here, because Lily doesn't know if I'm going to go for this pawn. And she's going to spend some time defending it. Perfect. And I was thinking just king, pawn on, gold here, and king up. And we just create the shape. And we're just like, we're happy. We're very happy. The point is we cover all our bases. We're down into Boyomi, but it's okay. Feel like this makes sense. And the idea is we're going to play gold here and king up. So we're just trying to improve our castle shape a bit better. So now there's a bit more pressure on here. I can also bring the silver up this way. Again, nothing in hand yet. That could easily change. Maybe king here and king here. I don't know if the gold is needed here. That's the issue. And this pawn move, do I need to deal with it? I think I will go silver here. The reason being is if pawn push, I can go silver takes. And the point is I can push this pawn. And I think the silver will be useful here. So I think the silver is useful as a defender. As well as an attacker. So maybe I push here now. Because if they ignore it, I can take them and drop. Probably I need to give my silver more space, right? Otherwise, or I can bring the king, I can bring the gold up and then king here. Maybe that's also important. Unless I'm getting hit immediately. I don't think I am, so I think I can play this. And I'm going to bring the king here. My only concern is if it's a bit too slow and this square's a bit too weak. But I didn't see a way for Lily to capitalize immediately, and if I get my king here, then it's safe enough. So the question is, does Lily have a way to capitalize on it? I didn't see one. But I am a little bit concerned. Just a little. Just a little. But I think it's fine. And if I can do that, then I think my shape has improved. Okay, I'm going to use the bathroom real fast. Unless she moves. I don't know if I've missed an opportunity to attack, but I just couldn't see a way of making this attack work. I also don't know if this gold is just way too far from the action. Maybe this gold move is just a load of garbage. Maybe it's just complete garbage. I'm also concerned a bit about this pawn move, right? Because if I take, then silver takes, bishop takes, and I think gold up to defend. It looks like it just about holds. It feels very uncomfortable. Given my gold is then stuck. If pawn here and I take, and silver takes, bishop takes, and they promote, I think I'm pretty bad there. So if pawn up, I could also just take with bishop when silver takes, bishop takes, and then just bring the gold. Again, if bishop runs away, I'm kind of sitting duck. Although I can kind of drop a pawn here, but I do need to defend this. It might be playable, Maybe that's a better way around. To take with the bishop. Pawn here, bishop takes. If takes, so bishop takes, gold takes. Nowhere for them to promote. If I bring the bishop back, I bring the king up, they push the pawn, and they're not threatening to trap. Because I've still got a bishop. So I think we're fine if Lily goes for this attack now. And if given another move, I just bring my king here, and I think I've got some kind of shape going on. Also, if pawn and pawn takes, silver takes, I can also bring my silver up. Although silver can sack, and if bishop takes, then rook can take. And that's not ideal either. So in pawn here, I feel like bishop takes is the right way to go. I have to be careful of bishop exchange and bishop dropping here. Like pawn here, bishop takes, silver takes, bishop takes. If gold up, bishop takes. And I have to take with gold, and there is a bishop drop here. I feel like this is probably working. This is probably too slow. It's probably too slow. Probably Lily's seeing all of this, but just deciding what's best. Maybe there's some other moves that are even better. So, I'm feeling a bit pessimistic about this pawn push. Is there anything else I can do? I don't have to react to it. I could also just bring my king up, in which when she takes... Do I have anything there? I could still ignore it when she takes, and I could bring the rook here and threaten to push this pawn back. Maybe. If pawn on pawn takes, and silver takes, maybe there I ignore it, and bring the rook over? I feel like my gold is getting in trouble. Well, what a position, eh? Wow, so bishop moves, which gives me time to play king here, which I'm very thankful for. But what is the idea? Is the idea to push here, and then when I take, then my bishop gets trapped? I guess this was always a concern for her as well. So now I can play king here, and I think I'm a lot happier to not see that on the board. But at the same time, I'm like, this is coming. I could try pushing here. I think I need to come here. I could try pushing. I could try it, but I think I've got to come here. I've got to come here, just cover my bases, get off this file. I think there's too much Tsuji happening there. Now, on this pawn push, that's the move now I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable about. Incredibly, I couldn't break through on Lily's king. And it's this weird defense she's got going on here, with the golden king. And I guess that's what I was doing with against primitive silver, except the golden king was switched around. It was very difficult to break on the head. But maybe there were some Tsuji. So I need to recall what people were doing to me. And see if I can do it to Lily. Like, for instance, what if pawn here, pawn takes, pawn drop, and silver here? Does that work? Like, if pawn takes. I've sacked the silver, but I get this huge pawn. I'm not threatening to promote, but say if I have like a silver exchange over here, then I think that kind of stuff is working. Then I think I do crash through. So I think if a silver exchange happens on this side, I don't know how, but if it did, then maybe that works. Maybe I can even sacrifice the knight for it, right? Like knight takes, silver takes, rook takes, and then trying to make that work, but then the rook is too active. So we need a way of getting another general. Because then I think like pawn here, pawn takes, silver takes, pawn drop, silver here. I think it is somewhat working. And the rook just goes back. But the rook is unprotected here. So she's just stalling and waiting. Waiting for me to attack. I mean, why shouldn't I? Or why shouldn't I get some more influence on this side? In case she goes for Anaguma, then maybe attacking this edge is smart. Or pushing here. But I haven't really calculated this one enough to make it work. So I think this is a safe enough move to keep options open. Ah, the bishop's coming this way to attack. The bishop is protected, but I guess she's going to try and push this pawn and pin. So now I guess is the time to attack before she brings the bishop here, so she doesn't know where to put the bishop. Pawn drop, pawn on. I guess I could push this pawn and bring the gold even higher. I don't see why not, to be honest. Like, why not do that? Because if bishop here, then I can just put the gold here. And I feel like I defend this really well then. My pieces have a bit more flexibility to move. My king is a bit open. My king is a little bit open. But we're like vanguarding the hell out of this left side. So my generals are going to get some room to move up. This bishop is protected by the silver. I mean, you'd think if the bishops come off, then there's going to be a way that Lily can drop. But I actually don't see where she can drop. I feel like we cover every single square. Also, thank God Lily's entering into Byomi, finally. But she's doing the classic of like, kind of like waiting around, toying with me to see if I slip up. And when I slip up big time, then she's going to pounce. And like earlier, I think I did slip up, but maybe she just felt that it wasn't a big enough slip up and she's waiting for something bigger. Which is fair enough. But that also gives us a chance to play better Shogi. And better Shogi we shall play. Okay, we're both in Byomi now. So, again, we still want to try and push this. But it's hard to make it work. And can we redeploy this bishop anywhere? Like, get inspired by Lily's play. Like, can we move this bishop somewhere else? Like, where could it be more useful? Just gonna push here. That's a pawn. I can take that. I can straight up take this pawn. So what is the idea? I guess to make my silver weak. Somehow. My bishop. I guess silver takes makes sense. But then the bishop comes here. But then I can move my bishop to make sure it's safe. Silver takes makes the most sense. And then I keep this attack, which may actually happen if this all opens up. So I think silver takes is the correct move. And on silver takes, pawn takes, and can I not push here? Take, take. So I guess I should take back, and when I take back, she's gonna drop silver here maybe. Oh, that's the idea. If I take this and she drops the silver here, am I in trouble? Maybe this is a mistake. I mean, I have to take it. So when I take it, she drops a silver here. But I guess I could take here. I don't know. I think I have to take it, but it does look a bit bad. It does look a bit bad when she drops a silver here, but she doesn't. Now I could drop a silver behind and really try and take this pawn. I've only got so many generals though, and they're all firing up the board. I can also push. If I go silver here, that covers everything. Why can't I just do this? Is silver here not a great way to play? And I want a pawn as a result. Silver here makes so much sense to me. Is there even anything stronger? Can I drop a silver here? Silver here threatens to promote as well. I think silver here looks good. This bishop's somewhat trapped. If it goes here, I can promote. Now fuck, I don't know what the rules are with repetition. If bishop here, and I go here. Okay. Now I can go here, but then she takes and promotes on my bishop. I can also take this. And then under promote and promote here. I can also drop this bishop back. If she promotes, probably bishop back here is correct. Probably bishop back here is correct. I think if we started repeating, she would be the one who repeats. Fuck, I don't know the rule. I don't know the rule. Is it if I'm the one who copies or she's the one who copies? Like, can I play here? But if I go here and she goes back, and then I go back, she can come this way. And if I'm a gold, then I can't do anything. So maybe when I come here, I can't then go back. Oh, how interesting. I can also promote this side. And grab a pawn, but why do I want a pawn? I can also take this. I can take this as well. In which you can sack for it. I think taking here looks strong. But now I can bring gold up. Oh, and she's taking here. Fuck. So I had to have gone up. Fuck. I allowed this. Maybe I can go bishop here? But then she can take. Because this is hanging. Oh my god. I think bishop here's my move. I don't have a better move. I don't have a better move. I don't have a better move than this, which is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying that I'm resulted playing. And she can promote here. Fuck, she can promote here. Jesus Christ. Okay. This is horrendous. So now I can go gold back. And then when she takes, I can at least take. And I think that's slightly better. If everything exchanges, my king is also weak. So I would come back. And force some kind of issue. So after Tolkien here, she takes, I take. What's happening? I have no idea. I think my king is weaker. Maybe my king finds some like safety on this square. So I think I'll do that. Okay, I think I'll do that. Okay. If she takes my pawn, I can also drop a pawn here. If takes here, I can drop a pawn, but then she takes. I take. She takes. And I probably don't have enough, right? Her king is incredibly safe. I could drop a pawn. But it's probably too much. I take, and the rook takes. I can drop a pawn. If I drop a pawn, she takes. I take, she takes. Nah, I can't do that. I have to take this. I have to take this. So after I take and rook takes, what is happening? Takes, takes. Not threatening a promotion just yet. And after the rook takes, where can I go? I could drop a bishop here. I could drop a bishop here and then bring the horse in, the knight in. But this is a promotion, so I need to deal with that. I pawn here. But then pawn up. Then bishop here. Maybe bishop here immediately. My idea is like to play bishop here or something, but... Okay, so rook to the side is probably necessary. And I still don't see how Lily promotes. I guess rook here. I mean, rook here is a must. So after rook here, what am I doing? What else am I doing? Maybe I can even hope for an edge attack, but it's too slow. Basically, I couldn't get this attack going. I could not get this attack going. Now, I could drop a bishop here to try and trade bishops, if that's going to be useful. Takes. I didn't see that. I didn't see that at all. I can bring horse in here now, but then this promotion is going to be absolutely devastating. Am I just completely busted here? Maybe I'm completely busted. Maybe pawn here? This is tough. This is really tough. This is really tough. We're gonna try for an attack, but this is gonna be so slow. Also, our rook is defended, but gold isn't, though. That's the issue. That's the bloody issue. Do we take here first? I mean, probably, right? We gotta try something. After taking, how do we progress? Can we drop a bishop here and fork? That's at least a fork. And we can drop a bishop here. If we can drop something here, then we can take this silver. If takes, where else can I drop this bishop? Clearly Lily's thinking carefully about this, so there must be something. Maybe it is just this. So she takes immediately. Now if she gives a check, I can start running. Or dragon here is this mate. Dragon here is mate. So that means I probably need to run. And then run here. Run here. Oh my god. Jeez. Well, I can take something with check, so I should probably do that as well. Probably a silver to defend, or do I want to take this? Probably take this as good, right? Lure the king out a little bit. So after takes, I could drop a bishop even. Or do I want to take this one? Probably take this one. It just runs. So I can now run. Or I can play gold. Take. Or I can push the edge. But first I need to deal with mate. So probably if I run, dragon in, and I run here. How safe am I? I feel like I'm safe enough. There's a bishop drop, but then I can drop a bishop myself. Takes. I feel like I'm fairly secure, not gonna lie. I mean, right now I'm running. I don't see a better way to deal with this. I think running is the best bet I've got, and I run here. Because that was a checkmate in once, and now at least I've got this escape square. I think Lily's risked a lot with this. Because if I drop a bishop, am I mating? Like gold here. So is that a he-she, bishop drop here? She can drop something inside. Which is probably the point. I can also take this, threatening a mate. But then there's a knight. I can also drop a pawn here. But then I don't really threaten much. This comes in. Now, this is a potential mate, so I've probably got to run early. While I can. Bishop check. Am I running this way? No, I'm not running this way. Surely not. So probably I need to play here. I think it's hard to attack from the back, right? So I think I can go king here, bishop check, and drop something. And kind of defend this like that. I think just king here, and if bishop check, I can drop something. Like gold or something. I think king here is really good. Now where's my goddamn mate? Where's my goddamn mate? I should know how to mate this. Probably take, and if takes, then I can drop a gold here. Now, is there a mate threat? Bishop check. I don't think so. Now, why can't I threaten a mate? I can take this. Gives her an extra knight in hand. I don't see a mate. I don't see a mate, so I should go for mate myself. Probably taking with silver, right? That should be enough. Unless I'm getting mated and I'm missing it. Bishop here. I don't see it. I thought if bishop here looked scary. It looked really scary, but I thought I was surviving. Maybe I'm not. If I drop a silver and takes, and dragon check, and I drop this silver back, do I not have an escape route? I think I just dropped the silver. That also gains a tempo on the horse. But gold might be more solid. Which one's better? Keep the golds in hand for mating attacks, probably. Use the silver. Controls this square as well. We can also use the bishop, but then I don't want to give her a bishop. Or maybe a gold is better. A gold is better when she doesn't have the diagonals. Maybe a gold is best. Let's use the gold to defend, because Fuck. I didn't see this one. No, she has a mate. She has a mate. Ah, shit. Yeah, I need to do more sume. Oh, no. No. I didn't see this. I didn't see this one. So I take, and she takes a dragon, and that is mate. There's no two ways about it. We have been defeated by the Lion Mane. GG, what a game. GG. But yeah, I should use that one tempo to defend. These guys are too fast for me. These guys are too fast for me. But yeah, man, if I only had taken that piece, I shouldn't have risked it. But that's a huge lesson. That's a huge lesson to be learned. Yo, while we're here, like, we may as well take a look at the analysis of the game. Like, holy shit, I could have taken that promoted silver and I could have defended. That was absolutely huge at the end. So, a really big missed opportunity. But I think the opening worked a treat. I think... Let's see if the... Oh, I have a huge spike. I have a huge spike of Gote's winning. I have a huge spike of Gote's winning. And I miss it. I miss it. So that's absolutely insane. Look at that graph, guys. Look at that graph. Holy shit. Are you able to see that? Like, my face isn't covering it, right? I don't know if you can see the whole graph, but basically it jumps from Gote's 1 to Sente's winning. What a finale. Oh, I could have taken that promoted silver. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. But I really thought Lily was losing it at the end. She gave me like such a good chance. Ah, I just had to defend that mate. I just didn't see it. I didn't see that gold drop. That gold drop on the edge, I just did not see it. I just thought I was completely safe. So here, I've actually played it like pretty perfectly, I think. No, not pretty perfectly, because this is apparently good for Sente, and I wasn't Sente. Of course I wasn't Sente. I'm always Gote in these damn games. Yeah, and here I thought, was this the moment where she could have pushed? Oh, she couldn't have sacked the pawn. I thought she was able to push this during the game. So let's have a quick look. If she pushes here, I take with bishop, right? And I couldn't work out if this was a problem. I thought maybe something like this. But apparently just silver takes. And apparently I can just let this happen. Wow, I was afraid. I don't think I would have allowed this. I think I was way too chicken to allow this. Apparently you just drop the pawn like a beast. They can't enter because they're going to get trapped. Some gold 5-2, what on earth? What on earth is this playing? You give up the silver, but you trap the rook. 7-9. Where on earth is 7-9? 7-9 is here. Oh my god, you counterattack like this. Who would have seen this? And then pawn to 8-6. Silver drop on 6-3. What on earth is this? This is for sure like some engine play. There's no way you're finding this. This one feels a bit more natural though, but at the same time you're giving up a lot. And pawn drop on 6-3. And you're basically going to say, I'm going to get your gold. Even though you've sacked like the whole house. Wait, hold on. This is better for Sente. This is better for Sente. I got conned. At what point was this better for Sente? I thought it was always better for Gote. No, I'm supposed to... Ah, this was just... Oh, it's not 7-9. It's silver drop on 7-9, not bishop. Oh, silver drop on 7-9. What's the difference? Well, I guess we keep... Ah, and then we've got a fork. We've got a fork. That makes a lot of sense. Hitting the king and the dragon. I was thinking like this is like the most insane play. You've sacked 2 bishops and 2 silvers for some ridiculous mate. But no, okay, so the game continues. It's kind of tense. And I can't believe I fucking missed a win. So this drop on 4-2, it's all not working. This was completely god awful. I go for this counterattack. And she goes all in. I throw in a check. And we get to this position. So here, she has to take. But instead she goes away. Pawn 5-3 is a great move to activate the rook, but... I try running, which is the sensible thing to do. She tries to enter. And again I try and run, but at the same time, I could have dropped a gold. And I would have been fine here. Dropping a gold would have been good, because then I have an extra defender of the king, but I didn't want to give Lily more gold in hand. And here I have to take this. Oh my days. Because I missed the Sume. I missed bishop here. I thought gold here. I didn't think that was a move. And I thought this was just winning. But there's a gold drop here. Which I did not see at all. I did not see this move. And if I take this, I cover this square. And I'm doing fine. How insane is that? How insane. My king has found shelter. And there's nothing. Have to drop some horrendous move like lance drop on 7-9. In which we can take, or we can take the silver. This makes more sense to me. Knight 1-5. I don't know. But the point is basically my king survives. My king somehow survives this. And is there really no way to try and like threaten this gold drop still? Is there no way to play against this? The rook is too strong. I get the rook back in the game. I missed. Like I saw I could take it. I saw I could take it, but I just thought that it gives Lily an extra move. But the point is it stops the bishop check. It stops the bishop check, and I could have done this. And the way to have defended this is if this had happened first, and I would have to have dropped the gold, and when dragon takes, this is a mate, so then I need to play gold 1-3. So I needed to spot this. I needed to spot this so bad, and then maybe this is winning. But I have the right instincts about bringing my king up. I have the right instincts. Wow, what a finish. What a finish. Holy shit. And I just take this to defend. Well, that's the curse of all these games, right? Shogi and chess, like it doesn't you know, one move can change everything. But the nice thing I think with Shogi is that I don't feel so bad about this loss, because like the game was so back and forth, and most games are. Like most games are like a Sicilian Najdorf between Carlsen and MVL, and it's just like the most insane type of position where computer evaluation means nothing. And I think that's a huge plus for Shogi. So yeah, I think it's a more forgiving game, but you do have moments like this where you mess up. But I think this was just about spotting this mate. If I'd spotted this mate, then I would take this. But I didn't spot it. I saw that I could go for this, and I thought if bishop check, I block with the gold, no problem. But yeah, I missed this one move. Missed this one move. Sorry, like gold drop 1-5. But crazy game. I'm gonna call it a day there, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you guys who are new to Shogi could still enjoy that game and see the kind of intensity of it. But yeah, that's all from me. See you guys next time. Adios.